The Man with the Yin-Yang Eyes. Season 2. Episode 19. The demon must have been in excruciating pain. For now, it couldn't stop screaming, but it still wouldn't give up. Big D witnessed such an exorcism for the first time, so he was very surprised but also had to admit that the other priest's method of exorcism was very effective. Very different from the Oriental method of using spells to exorcise evil. But before he could praise, Big D sighed again, somewhat disappointed, because the demon was chased out of the woman's body and soon re-entered her. It seems that this priest's magic power is still not strong enough to suppress this demon. After re-entering the woman's body, the demon was extremely aggressive. It continuously howled and rushed towards the priest as if it wanted to vent because of the pain it had to endure. Seeing this, the priest was still very calm, not panicking. His hand held the chain with the cross towards the demon, and his mouth continuously recited prayers to neutralize the demon. Because I was worried that the priest was not strong enough to deal with the demon, I reached into my shirt and took out 2 coins, immediately rushing towards the demon. The demon rushed to the priest when 2 coins hit him in the head. Otherwise, I don't know what would happen to the other priest. Only to see the demon now extremely painful and frightened by the power that has just suppressed it. This is the devil, not the pious lamb. Are you going to baptize him or something? The priest immediately thanked me for helping him out of the dangerous situation just now, and I rushed out, ready to subdue the demon. The other priest was a bit embarrassed. Are you also an exorcist? That's right, for these Oriental demons, using your method won't work. In this respect, I am extremely confident. It is time for me to show my ability. As soon as I finished speaking, I turned back to deal with the demon in front of me. Immediately I pulled out a few yellow talismans, continuously recited incantations, then directed the talismans towards it. After reciting the incantation, I threw the talisman straight at the evil spirit with the fastest speed possible. The talisman immediately hit the demon. It immediately let out a scream and was knocked out of the woman's body. But this demon is really stubborn. As soon as he was kicked out of the woman's body, it quickly rushed towards others to enter. The other young man saw that. He was extremely scared, and stepped backward out of the salt protection circle created by the priest to protect him. The other people shouted to stop him, but it was too late. He fell out of the salt circle. The demon managed to get into the young man's mouth. Immediately after entering in the new body, the demon let out a savage howl. At this time, the young man's appearance became extremely scary. His eyes were bulging, white, in which only blood veins were visible. When it screamed, it raised its sharp teeth and especially drew out its extremely long tongue. Taking advantage of the time when the demon continuously bared its fangs to scare everyone, I quickly threw a few more charms at it, but somehow, it quickly dodged all the charms I threw. It seemed that after entering the young man's body, using the body's strength it possessed, it became faster and stronger than before. Immediately, after avoiding my traps, it continued to rush towards the people around to attack. Almost everyone was so scared that they forgot they were standing in the protective circle of the priest and me. Everyone jumped out, creating chaos. Faced with that situation, the priest immediately threw some holy water at the demon. This is pure water blessed by the power of the holy God. It has an extremely scary effect on people who are possessed by demons. Sure enough, the demon couldn't stand the magic water on his body, so he was knocked out of the young man's body. To ensure his safety, I quickly rushed over, stuck a talisman on the young man's forehead, avoid him being disturbed by the demon's return. Immediately the demon was surrounded by the priest and me. It seems that today is the bad day for it to come haunting people. I immediately took out a coin and shot it at it. At the same time, the priest also used holy water to throw it at it. Two people attacked the demon simultaneously, and it was extremely scared. Instinctively it raised its hand. Indeed, this holy water is very effective in purifying and burning evil spirits. As soon as it touches it, it pierces many holes in the devil's hands, followed by black smoke continuously escaping. At this time, it turned its eyes to an old man and a girl standing behind it, still refusing to give up the intention to enter another person's body. Big D, quickly bring the talismans. We must stick to everyone quickly, don't let it do its magic. In this situation, I think that's the only way to prevent this demon from entering the bodies of the people on board. But when I was looking back, I felt like I was about to fall. It turned out that while I was fighting to the death with the other devil, this damn fat guy had all the charms plastered all over his body. It's really hard to find anyone more afraid of death than the fat guy. Meanwhile, the demon also rushed towards the two people near it. It immediately entered the granddaughter's body, from a beautiful girl instantly turning into an extremely ugly, somewhat scary face. I thought that after entering the new body, it would continue to attack everyone, but no, the demon rushed towards the stairs leading up. The demon climbed quickly, and it knew that it could not fight against the priest and me, so it was the best way to escape. I immediately took out 2 coins and threw them at the demon, preventing it from escaping because once it escaped onto the deck, it would definitely jump into the sea to hide so that it would drown the host body. The coin was extremely accurate. The demon immediately fell back, and at the same time, did not dare to approach the ladder to climb again. It jumped up and clung to the wall of the hold. At this point, the priest and I must work together to defeat this demon. I asked the priest to join forces to destroy the demon. The priest immediately agreed, immediately took a bottle of holy water, and held it in his hand. This demon is so stubborn. It looks like the two of us have to work together to deal with it. You can rest assured that I'm here. It won't escape. Looking at Big D, I really can't stand it anymore. While I'm struggling to deal with the demon, this damn fat guy sits on the floor, shaking his thighs like he's going to the theater, even pulls out all the charms and sticks them on his body again. I immediately rushed over and snatched all those charms out. The amulets now need to be used by everyone around. Big D was stripped of all the charms and was very confused. Hey, you took it all away. What if the demon possessed me? You're really evil. I immediately went around, applying protective charms to everyone so that I can completely deal with this demon. Rather than chasing it from one person to another, I'm tired. And just as I guessed before, after everyone was taped, only Big D was left. The demon immediately took that opportunity to attack Big D. Now the demon is rushing fast to his side, and for his part, Big D was still shocked as if he couldn't believe that the demon rushed at him so quickly. Just a second later, Big D had a strange expression, and his whole body was involuntarily shaking. Then the transformation begins. His tongue is now extremely long and disgusting. Seeing Big D like that is a bit pitiful, but he deserved it, the selfish fat guy. After Big D's transformation, I pulled out a coin chain. This is the Devil's Key chain, a very powerful weapon that I like the most. The demon in the form of Big D rushed towards me. His mouth kept screaming, although Big D's body was quite bulky, but the movement speed of this demon did not decrease. I swerved to the side, then threw the coin at the demon, throwing one end at it, and the other I grasped tightly. This rope was not like normal ropes. As soon as it touched the demon, it stretched and wrapped tightly around its arm, and I quickly slipped behind. After moving behind the demon, I pulled on the rope. Big D's arm was pulled back, and his whole body fell to the ground. I quickly rushed over, used a few precise movements, quickly tied the demon. It couldn't get out, and it couldn't scream anymore because I locked its mouth. After the coins weakened the demon, I quickly untied the coins, leaving only the rope, continuing to bind Big D. The priest says to leave the rest to him. He will pray to suppress the demon's aggression, which will also avoid hurting Big D. After saying this, the priest held the cross to the demon and began to pray. The demon began to howl and deliberately fought back. It certainly did not give up its aggression. Seeing that, I immediately reached out my hand to stop the priest. I want to check the root cause of this soul's resentment, and then it will be easier to convince it. Let me try to see why in the past this demon was unjustly killed and turned into such an angry demon. Hearing that the priest was also surprised by my ability, I could see the surprise on his face. Just by touching a soul, I can know its past, specifically the moment before its death. I approached Big D, then put my hand on his face. The demon still resides inside Big D and has no intention of escaping. I gradually felt the images, a dark and resentful memory of this demon. The scene of a ship appeared in front of my eyes, surrounded by the sea. At a glance, you can tell that this is the type of ship we are on, a ship illegally carrying people across the border. When he discovered that something was wrong after hearing the noises of the people in the hold, the captain went to open the hatch to check. It turned out that a woman was seriously ill, so she fainted, fearing that she had an infectious disease, so the captain mercilessly told his men to throw her into the sea, even though she was still alive at this time. These people are so used to dealing with illegal immigrants like this that they choose to throw them into the sea when something happens. And then that woman, after her sudden death, was eaten by fish, and she lay forever on the cold ocean floor. Seeing my sad expression, the priest was curious to know what I saw. I told the priest what I had seen. This woman's angry spirit has been in this sea for a long time. What she wants is to be able to reach land. That is a woman's wish before she dies. But to do that, she must have a body for her to enter to be able to fulfill this wish. While not knowing how to solve the problem, because Big D could not be left in this state until we reached the mainland, at this moment, an idea flashed in my mind. I immediately took up a cockroach crawling on the ground. Then I brought the cockroach in front of Big D and mumbled a few incantations. After listening to the chant, the spirit left Big D and immediately entered the cockroach. After putting the cockroach in a glass jar, Big D also fainted from exhaustion. But I suddenly realized that something was wrong. A healthy person like Big D could not have fainted when the demon had just entered for such a moment. This fat guy must have played a trick. Thinking so, I raised my hand. And immediately, I gave Big D a big punch in the face. The purpose was to want him to wake up, and this hit seemed quite strong. Big D's saliva and snot were splashed out. Big D woke up in a panic and hurriedly raised his hand to stop me, afraid that I would punch him again, but his mouth kept asking where the demon was. How could the fake sleep trick pass through my eyes? Stop pretending to be clueless. That angry soul has already been put into this cockroach by me. When we get to the mainland, I will help it rest in peace. At this time, Big D was really surprised, because when the demon's soul escaped, Big D did not know it. You know this, when the last wish is fulfilled, any soul can rest peacefully. The priest who had been standing next to me listened to everything I said. He was very interested in the knowledge I knew, and at the same time, he also praised me as a skilled exorcist. Hearing such praise, I was a little embarrassed. I immediately introduced myself, and the priest also introduced himself that his name was Lucas. He also said that he admires my kind heart, because according to him, if he meets a demon, he must destroy it nonetheless. Lucas complimented me for a while, and then I couldn't stop laughing. Now I can only scratch my head and say that everything I know is because of my master's teaching. So after this incident, all three of us sat together, sipped our newly earned beer, and made friends. I have heard my master talk about Western exorcists before, most of them priests, but it seems that I am more fortunate than them because I can get married and have children. Lucas said that he wants to learn about Oriental culture, and this trip is also to learn about the magic of Oriental exorcists. About this, Big D and I are always ready to share our knowledge. So the three of us sat down and talked about the tools we carried. They all had a lot in common. For example, the Bible worked like talismans, and coins and swords were similar, corresponds to the chain or the cross. The cinnabar corresponds to the holy water. The rest, using them successfully or not, depends on the exorcist using them. While we were talking, there was a call from above and the hatch lid opened, and I turned around to see what happened. It turned out that we had finally arrived in Thailand. The sailor poked his head down and urged us to hurry up. We are now arrived at our destination, not knowing what would await us ahead.